Rockies are getting set to play baseball again against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Last night did not go their way as the Pirates prevailed 4-2. The Rockies losing streak now at 7 games. They are still 2 games north of 500. The Pirates have had another forgettable season. They're 35-64. Good evening, everybody. With my partner, George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Hopefully tonight will be the night the Rockies get the bats going. They've scored 4 runs in their last 3 losses, 16 runs overall in the 7-game losing streak. But tonight, again, we begin with Houston Street. The news is much better than last night at this time.
Well, there's no question. I mean, the guy's obviously walking around in the locker room. He's out of the hospital. He went to have a check. Now, he's not available tonight, and that's understandable from what he's been through in the last 24 hours. You hope it comes back very quickly, so hopefully by the weekend when the Cubs get here.
Yeah, it was great to see him in the clubhouse today, and Jim Tracy addressed the injury situation with Houston Street earlier.
Maybe not even a chance to play catch today. That's how sore he is. As far as when, as I said to you guys last night, it's day to day, and we'll monitor it accordingly and see where it goes as far as how quickly we can get back to availability from Houston. But that's the report I got for you and the update I got for you with regard to Houston Street.
So if the Rockies arrive, and hopefully they do, with the lead in the 9th inning that needs to be protected, we'll see how Jim Tracy goes about his business.
I mean, he said down there, I'm going to piece it together, and that's something he's done all year long. I think Betancourt will still have the 8th inning because that's where he's most comfortable, most successful. But I wouldn't put it out of the realm to see Manny Corpus get the last out of the game. I wouldn't put it out to see Joe Beimel get the last out of the game. He will get the last out of the game if it takes 8 people to do it.
Yeah, and we've seen Trace do this before. If you have a couple of lefties, he may go to Beimel in the 9th inning to match up in that situation. Hopefully, that's what we have in the 9th inning tonight. When we come back, we'll talk about Brad Hopp. He swung the bat very well in yesterday's ball game. Rockies. Last night, obviously, was disappointing. The Rockies fell 4-2. Jorge De La Rosa, after a tough first inning, threw the ball very, very well. The other bright spot for me that came out of last night's affair was the offensive exploits of Brad Hopp. He drove a ball the other way about 415 feet, and then he had a double in the ninth inning also to the opposite field. He looked like Brad Hopp.
He did look like Brad Hopp, and I go back, and I try to say this all the time. Look at the baseball card. See what it tells you. See what he finishes up the year at. I don't know. He's going to have to get hot, obviously, to hit 20, 25 home runs, but this is the Brad Hopp you get used to. He has an 0 for 12. He has a bunch of strikeouts, and all of a sudden he shows up last night and he leaves the yard and hits the ball off the wall. And I think what helps him accomplish this throughout his entire career has been his demeanor and to handle the ups and downs of a baseball season of 162 ball games, where he's averaged over 150 games a year without injuries involved.
You told me a long time ago, and I've known you for a long time, you came up, Lou Brock, the great Lou Brock was in the clubhouse, and you asked him how you handle everything. Lou Brock said, just like that. That's Brad Hopp.
Absolutely.
Brad Hopp is this way, whether he's 0 for 4 or 4 for 4. It's kind of like Alana Rizzo, steady every day.
That's right. Never too high, never too low. I'm talking about Brad Hopp as well coming up in the ballgame for you guys, but more about his defensive position at first base, legging it out, what he's had to do differently in terms of preparation to man the base instead of right field. And baby boom, a lot of Rockies baby news, but some very interesting stories to go along with that, guys.
All right, Alana, steady as always. Rockies on Mic'd Up Night, and the Pittsburgh Pirates come on back to 20th and Blake with us. Your wallet by E470. Quick, easy, and available to anyone. Test drive it today. By Ford Taurus, the all-new Ford Taurus. It's America's most innovative full-size sedan. Ford Taurus. Drive one. And by Brakes Plus, a whole lot more.
Hey, I'm radioactive. Do it, Bob. Hey,
Bob Abadaka is radioactive. He'll be wearing the microphone tonight. Yesterday, there was a crowd of almost 47,000 here at Coors Field. We're expecting a nice gathering as well tonight. There's Andrew McCutcheon. What a display he put on tracking down the baseball last night in center field. He's a joy to watch. He is perhaps the fastest guy in baseball. He can swing the bat as well. Jose Tabata will be behind him. Then Neil Walker, he hit a home run last night. He's batting .310. He's a rookie. Gary Jones, Pedro Alvarez, another good-looking rookie for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Lastings Millage at .274. Ronnie Cedeno swinging the bat very well in the month of July. Eric Kratz and the Ivy Leaguer Ross Ohlendorf on the hill as we check the scouting report on the most veteran pitcher for the Rockies, Aaron Cook.
Well, you're going to take this right-hander to the mound. You're going to hopefully see an awful lot of sinkers in the strike zone at 87 to 92 miles an hour. He will show slider and curve. A changeup he uses about 3 or 4% of the time. Mostly sinkers. Needs to be down and needs to be in the zone.
All right, George, first pitch is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Text keyword pizza followed by a space and your name to 95323 to receive your Domino's special offer and to be entered to win a pizza party for 12. So McCutchen steps in. And Aaron Cook, who has a very solid 3.25 ERA at home this year. That's better than solid. That's terrific. This is a high chopper. Tulowitzki's got to hustle and get McCutchen by half a step. Well, you see the ball go up in the air like that when McCutchen's running, and you think, oh, man.
Well, two things happen pretty good there, and that's Tulowitzki's quickness and, of course, the arm strength.
Good start. Jose Tabata will be coming up next. The Rockies will line this way. Smith, Gonzalez, and Spielborg's in the outfield. Stewart, Tulowitzki, Jonathan Herrera at second for Clint Barmas. Brad Hopp again at first. And Miguel Olivo's behind the plate. Chris Iannetta was in the original lineup, but congratulations to Chris and his wife Lisa. They welcomed in a baby girl earlier this afternoon, Ashlyn. Chris is at the ballpark, but he's not had a lot of sleep the last couple of days.
And that's understandable.
That fastball's up 1-1 on Tabata. Game time temperature 83 degrees. Very pleasant night. Olivo sets up away and that pitch down. So Iannetta originally going to work tonight. Now it'll line Olivo with Ubaldo Jimenez tomorrow. He's caught him basically all season long. So we'll see how that works tomorrow afternoon as Jimenez will take to the Coors Field mound.
There's Chris. He's at the ballpark. As Drew mentioned, just maybe not quite wide as awake as he normally would be at this time of night.
Well, he had that, that glow to him. I mean, he's going on adrenaline.
Well, you are, obviously, to witness something as wonderful as that.
Ashlyn Iannetta. I mentioned last night, of course, Houston Street's wife, Lacey, is due any day. And this is chopped to third. Stewart. Nice job by Ian. Well, George looks like he's got the nice sinker going.
Hard sinkers. We look at the Suzuki keys to this ball game. A couple of guys that have had success against Ohlendorf has been Tulowitzki and Hopp. Play 27 outs. Base running mistakes that need to be eliminated. Errors during the ball game. Those type of things. And then the bullpens. The battle of the bullpen beyond the seventh inning. With the Rockies without Houston Street, someone will close that ball game. And obviously the strength of this Pirate team is their bullpen.
And that's a new addition coming out of the clubhouse. Focus for 27 outs.
Well, it's something that I remember back about 8 or 9 years ago. Gene Glenn was coaching third base for the San Francisco Giants. And I remember behind the batting cage one day you asked him, what's your club do to win games? He said, we play 27 outs.
1-1 on Neil Walker.
Cook's numbers obviously a lot different here at Coors Field. 3-0 with an earned run average at 325. The opposition's hit just 242 against him. Struggles have been on the road. 1-6 with an earned run average at 6. And the opposition's batting average at 315.
Yeah, Aaron with that 3.25 home ERA. The best ERA he's ever had at Coors Field was 3.96 back in 2006. So he's on schedule to have his best year ever at 20th at Blake. Here's the 2-1 on Walker. Way outside. 3-1. Walker, a Pittsburgh area kid, drafted as a catcher, but when they asked him to switch, he was very agreeable because he caught and he did it well, but he was anxious to get out from behind the plate.
I'll try to think of some other guys that caught a long time. Obviously Biggio, but not quite the height and weight of this guy to go out and play second base and have the mobility that he has.
Originally, they had moved him, George, to third. Then they drafted Alvarez. And I said, let's see how you do over at second. And you're right. He's a big guy, but he's handled the position defensively pretty well. Left field, line drive. It's right at Smith, and it's a very nice start for Aaron Cook. Couple of ground balls and a line drive to left. We'll see the Rockies on offense when we come back. They need a big outing. They have not scored more than 4 runs in any of the last 7. And as you know, the Rockies have lost all 7, their longest losing streak in a couple of years. Seth Smith will begin things. He'll be at the top of the order. Jonathan Herrera with his .291 average will be next. And Cargo at 304. Tulowitzki at 301. Brad Hopp, the home run and double last night. Spilborghs continues to swing the bat well. Ian Stewart, Miguel Olivo, and Aaron Cook. Big Ross Ohlendorf is on the hill tonight for the Pittsburgh Pirates, graduate of Princeton. And George, he does not have a pretty record, but it's deceiving. He's pitched much better than the 1-8 record would indicate.
Well, absolutely he has. I mean, 82 innings, just 85 hits, struck out 57. He's not a strikeout artist. He's a guy that keeps the ball down in the strike zone, typically. That's a nice start. And Smith will be held to a single. Good play by Lastings Village.
That was a loud base hit to right. Let's take a look at the scouting report on Ohlendorf.
88-94 heavy sinker. He'll use it about 65% of the time. Slider change. The change he doesn't like to use. He's a 2-pitch mix. He likes quick innings. He doesn't throw a lot of pitches per start. That's been evident throughout the season. The most he's thrown is 110 in any start. He's averaged right at about 88 per start. He's worked into the 6th and 7th inning an awful lot. Think about this with that 1-8 record. They've scored only 3 runs. 3 runs is the most they've ever scored in any of his 16 starts while he's on the mound. Now, they've scored some after he's been knocked out of the game or left the ball game. Came over in a trade for Xavier Navy from the New York Yankees as one of their prized prospects. Last road win was almost a year ago, August 11th.
He had to get his only win this year against Milwaukee, George. He had to throw 7 shutout innings. His last 4 starts has been very good. He's given up only 7 runs in his last 4 starts. No 0-1 the count on Herrera. Smith, an average runner at first. Garrett Jones was twitching with the glove there, George, like he was an inside linebacker right before the snap of the football. I don't know if he was calling for the baseball or...
A lot of guys will do that if they think they notice he's extended his lead that extra half a step. This is a line drive that'll be caught in the air and turn into a double play.
Neil Walker grabbed it, and Smith could not get back in time. And we've seen a lot of that lately for the Rockies. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Well, secondary lead, you're going to jump out about an extra 3 steps. There's 1, 2, 3. Watch the flight of the ball to see if it was maybe going to hump back into the dirt. It did not. As soon as you see a ball in the air, go back to first base immediately with nobody out, obviously.
2 outs, nobody on. Carlos Gonzalez will step up. Cargo is 1 for 5 with a home run against Ohlendorf. And he really should be 2 for 5 with 2 home runs against Ohlendorf. He hit a ball out last year that last innings Millage went over the wall and caught and brought it back home. An opposite field shot. This is back up the middle, and another base hit for the Rockies' number 3 hitter, Carlos Gonzalez. That'll bring up Tulowitzki. Pittsburgh will have Tabata, I should say, McCutchen and Millage in the outfield, Alvarez and Cedeno on the left side, Neil Walker, Garrett Jones on the right side, and Eric Kratz, who reached the big leagues 11 days ago after a number of years in the minor leagues. Tulowitzki last night hit the ball hard twice. In fact, you couldn't hit the ball any harder than he hit it in 2 of his at-bats. So line drive to right center field that McCutchen caught, and a smash to third that was handled by Alvarez. And this goes off the right field line, and Gonzalez will easily get the third. I'll tell you what, he's going to be able to round third. The throw comes to the plate, and that was necessary. That ball, George, went no man's land down the right field line, and honestly, Carlos Gonzalez, he couldn't have scored on it, but he could round third.
Well, they tried to force the throw, and that's what he did to the plate. But the one thing about where this throw went and where the positioning of their outfield with Tulowitzki up made it a longer run. With a runner at first base, your second baseman shading up the middle, the ball gets by. Now it's just a foot chase to the baseball, and for Gonzalez to get to third base as quickly as he can. Giambi, who's not in the lineup, is about the only hitter in the Rockies lineup that has hit with runners in scoring position in a couple of outs. He's 2 for 5. The rest of the team, 109. In this recent road trip and losing streak that they're on.
Ball 1 on Troy. I said to him before the game, I said, you know what? He swung the bat well last night. He said, no. He goes, it's a results-oriented business. I'd have taken 4 broken bat singles. But it did have to feel good to square up a couple of pitches last night for Troy. Off the end of the bat, foul, fortunately. He was way out in front. They've given the error to Garrett Jones.
Really? Well, again, he's playing in that sun field, and that started to settle a little bit more here at Coors Field. You never know the throw coming out of there. Tough error.
And you're right, this is a difficult time of night to play first base at Coors Field. That's off of Ohlendorf. Base hit. Gonzalez scores. And now you got to check on Ross Ohlendorf. Be in a little bit of shock right now, George, and that bothers everybody. Look at Troy Tulowitzki.
Right, that's one of the biggest fears hitters have, and pitchers do too. If balls hit right back up the middle at you.
Let's see where this got him.
Well, he ducked enough to take it as a glancing blow, but that's still on the back and the side of the head.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's what I would anticipate. I can't imagine him being left in the ball game.
You just can't. You got to, for precautionary reasons, George. You got to take him out. I mean, there's a lot of adrenaline going right now, and there's a degree of shock also. And the crowd standing and clapping as they should. So Ross Ohlendorf looks like he's okay, walking very slowly to the Pirates dugout.
Man, oh man. This ball ended up in right center field, folks. That's how hard that ball was hit.
You hope, George, that it got some of the shoulder to take some of the momentum off the baseball.
Well, they're doing something I think is a little unusual. So Gallagher has come into this ball game. Typically, he's a late guy. It's going to be a while. He gets all the time he needs to get loose for this ball game.
So 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. Tulowitzki with the base hit off of Ohlendorf has given the Rockies a 1-0 lead. We'll come back to Coors Field. Sean Gallagher, who was just picked up a couple of weeks ago from the San Diego Padres, will take over.
In those 20 appearances, he's gone 3 1/3 a couple of times this season against Philadelphia back in June, and then in April. Early part of the season, he gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, and walked 4 in 3 1/3 innings.
He last worked on Saturday night. Faced 4 batters, didn't retire anybody he faced against his former club, the Padres. Gave up 3 earned runs. Brad Hopp at the plate. Tulowitzki dives back in.
I see Brad's numbers: 6 home runs, 34 RBIs, and I had Doug Marino look up career numbers of Brad Hopp month by month. And in the early months, obviously, over 300 in April. But the rest of those months, he's averaged right at about 20, 22 home runs. He's hit in the mid-280s throughout the whole time. And so it kind of tells you everything has a tendency to level itself off for Brad Hopp as the season goes. Now, he's suffered some injuries, once on the DL for 15 days, and then has fought a very sore rib from the collision with the fence before the All-Star break. So, I mean, it's things that have prohibited him from playing every day. Yesterday was a great sign, the double and the home run.
Ball and a strike on Hopp. A lot of room in right center field. Andrew McCutcheon shaded in the direction that Brad hit 2 baseballs last night. One that short hopped the wall, one that went over the wall. Playing him like a right-handed pull hitter right now. Here's the home run from last night. Rockies got back-to-back home runs in the 5th to even the score against Zach Duke. First Hopp and then Clint Barnes. One nothing Colorado, 1-2 on Hopp, and Gallagher gets the strikeout on Brad. So the Rockies get 3 hits in the first. Gonzalez comes around on the single by Tulowitzki.
You're looking fastball. And the second, the millisecond that you recognize that it's not a fastball, take it. Take it. Because you're probably not going to be in a good position to make a good swing. Exactly right. So why do we swing?
Well, that's something interesting. Bob Apodaca talking hitting and counseling Miguel Olivo on hitting. And if you think that's strange, Bob's not a one-trick pony. In fact, growing up in Southern California, he went to junior college before joining the Mets organization. Bob Bob's a very good athlete. Bob was a good hitter growing up.
But more importantly than anything, Drew, the fact that he's around it every day.
Yeah.
And he's teaching hitters how to get patterns out. So sometimes the pitching coach can be a very good hitting coach, as a hitting coach can be a good pitching coach. Because they talk about patterns and they talk about way to get guys out.
Garrett Jones at the plate with a 1-2 count. Aaron Cook worked a 1-2-3 first. They want to go in and up. And the ball leaked away.
See, for me, for a guy that's a sinker ball pitcher and you pronate to the inside of the ball so much, anytime you come in on a lefty, you've got to start it almost right at him. Because if you start it to the inside corner, what happens? The ball runs back to the middle and it's flat and it's a pretty hittable pitch.
They want to go in there again with the breaking ball. This ball is lifted to right center field and deep. And Garrett Jones has hit it out. And it's tied at 1, to your point.
Well, that's you're asking, for me, this is my own opinion, that's what I threw with sinkers. You're asking the guy to do something with the baseball that's at times can be inconsistent. It stays out over the middle of the plate more than it gets into the spot you want it. Now, if it's a four-seam pitch that you just got too much to the plate on, then that's shame on the pitcher. You'll be able to see on this ball. Watch how this ball starts out here. Now watch as it makes its run. See, this ball ran right back over, and if you get an overhead shot of where that was located, as it crossed home plate, you'll see it's right in the middle of the plate.
13th home run for Garrett Jones. He hit more than 20 last year in half a season. He leads the Pirates in home runs. He leads the Pirates in RBIs with 58. He leads the Pirates in hits with 101. That pitch is on the corner, a strike as well. 0-2 on Pedro Alvarez. So here's how the 08 draft went with the top 5 picks. So it was fun to look back. One and two. Tim Beckham was taken number 1 by Tampa. He's a shortstop, Georgia kid. He's now in the Florida State League. And he's hitting .235 as of yesterday with 5 home runs and 44 RBIs. That's a ball. This ball's fouled off. Alvarez went second, and he's gotten himself to the big leagues. He was the minor league player of the year last year at the Bucks. He hit .288. He has plenty of power. Eric Hosmer went to Kansas City, a first baseman. He's hitting .351 between A and AA this year with 12 home runs, so he's coming quickly. Brian Matus is up with Baltimore. He was the 4th pick. And you know who was the 5th pick? That misses. Buster Posey. He's got a 20-game hitting streak going with the Giants.
Yeah, and the Rockies took Christian Friedrich, who's made it to AA this year, but has battled elbow injuries twice, once in high A and then this year in AA.
Come in again against Georgia, a guy that if you make a mistake in, he'll hit it a long way.
Well, he's a very good power hitter, obviously. You can see from his lower half build, his body, that he can generate a lot of strength into that swing. I think that's one thing he's not worried about right now is average. He's worried more about driving in runs and hitting home runs. Very accomplished college player. It's the reason he got here as fast as he did. It's kind of like Buster Posey playing at a high level of college competition.
Three and 2 on Alvarez. And strike 3. For Aaron Cook catches Alvarez looking 1 out.
A good bounce back pitch and to work out after giving up the home run. Come back. High sinker called a strike at the top of the strike zone. Skycam was going to catch enough on the plate. You'll see that part of it. It's just a matter of whether it was too high in the zone.
Lasting's Millage, 274 average as Millage steps up. He's become very close friends with Andrew McCutchen. In fact, they share a place in Pittsburgh. And this ball's hit a ton, get foul. He's a little thicker than McCutchen is, but for guys that aren't overly big, George, they generate a lot of bat speed.
Well, he has very short and quick to the baseball. Look at the starting point of his swing to the finish. It's there in a hurry. getting to live up to the potential that's surrounded him for a number of years.
Oliva may have stolen that one for Aaron Cook. Subtly brought it down in the strike zone. 1-2 on Millage. Ronnie Cedeno on deck. Well, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs during this game or any other, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies Taco Special. Pirates won yesterday. It snapped a 6-game losing streak out on the road for Pittsburgh. Snapped a 4-game slide overall. And this is toward right center field, and Gonzalez gets there.
And a lot like McCutchen, it all depends on the type of break you get and the position you start from. If you're playing straight up or a little bit into right centers, that enables Gonzalez to get to this baseball. He's shading over on the right side of second base. But from a right-handed bat on a sinker baller, it's tailing away from you. He makes a nice play on this baseball, all due to the break on the ball. That's what, you see the concentration a player has to make a catch when you show the Hyundai cam and the slow motion side of it, where his eyes, arms, and head and everything stays to get to that baseball.
Boy, he's a joy to watch. Here's the 1-0 on Cedeno. 2-0 on Ronnie. In the big month of July. Hitting .373 this month. He was in the doghouse for a while. He was watching Bobby Crosby play shortstop for a couple of weeks.
What was he hitting the month of June? Like 112?
Wasn't pretty.
121 in the month of June. Now, obviously, he's turned that around here in July and swung the bat very well. It's part of the reason he was getting to grab some splinters.
2-1 on Cedeno. With all of the changes, and of course, all the losing for the Pirates, not only going back to after the '92 season, but really in this decade, the one staple was you always counted on seeing Jack Wilson at shortstop until late last year when they traded him to Seattle.
They were always able to keep one player. Jason Kendall prior to that, it was Brian Giles. They kept one guy around a lot.
This ball is pretty well struck. Spilborghs, I think at first didn't realize how well that was hit. And Ryan got back comfortably. In the inning, Garrett Jones led off with a home run, and then the Rockies outfielders came up with a couple of nice plays. 1-1. We go to the bottom of the second inning. The Rockies won, the Pirates won. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo for tonight's Great Colorado Payback Sideline Report.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Again, a very big congratulations to Chris and Lisa Iannetta. As you mentioned, Houston and Lacey Street are next, and if it doesn't come before that, they plan on inducing on August 2nd. That's the Rockies' next off day, but there's a very significant place in the Street family in terms of that date. The reason being, Houston Street was born on August 2nd, 1983. His dad, James Street, August 2nd, 1948. So it could be 3 generations of Street babies on August 2nd, guys. Unless, of course, Baby Street decides to come earlier than that.
That would be interesting, huh? Ryan Spilborg takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Even if the baby comes a couple days early, it'd be quite a birthday present.
They're all a birthday present.
Yes, they
Somebody
are.
said, you know, Father's Day has a designated day. I said, no, Father's Day is 365 days out of the year. It's the greatest job you could ever have.
And a challenging one sometimes.
Oh, well, yeah.
1 and 2. Spilborg's went. Ryan's gone. That's 2 straight strikeouts for Sean Gallagher, who's in relief of Ross Ohlendorf, who was hit in the head on a line drive by Troy Tulowitzki, who scored Carlos Gonzalez, who was at third. We don't have an update yet on Ohlendorf's condition from the Pirates clubhouse. He never went down, other than to one knee right there, and then he quickly got up. And he walked slowly off the mound after the trainers. John Russell came out for a few minutes.
Well, if Ian Stewart could play against Pittsburgh every day, he could probably be in the Hall of Fame. 345 average, 16 RBIs in 18 games versus Pittsburgh. Pretty good numbers.
Ball and a strike on Stewart. Most of his damage has been out on the road, and that's a pitch that continues to give him fits. Anything on that inside part of the plate, he generally doesn't fire at. He lifts his arms, and a lot of times, George, we see it called a strike.
A lot of times, guys that are crowding the plate that much, or wanting the baseball away from a middle plate away. Now, I've talked to a lot of guys that crowd the plate that have quick hands. They want the ball inside. To me, it's a matter of picking the ball up out of the hand when you see the belly snap back to keep from getting hit.
This ball's hit to left field, playable for Tabata. 2 outs. 2 outs. It'll bring up Miguel Olivo. Olivo last night was 1 for 3, had a double, and he also got the shock of his season yesterday. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but only a little bit. He hit a shot to deep center field that he told me today he thought for sure was a triple. And Andrew McCutchen caught it easily.
Well, Andrew McCutchen put quite a show on last night with chasing down balls to both sides of the gap, dead center field. This is all a guy that was an all-state running back. He was the anchor on the 800 relay, all with a totally reconstructed left knee.
Slowly hit to third. Alvarez on the move, and Olivo's gone. Gallagher's retired all 4 he has faced since coming on for Ohlendorf. Tied at 1 as we go to the third.
The next two lefties are the ones that we're going to have to avoid making the big mistake with, you know, where his fastball gets flat. You see how he's getting out ahead of himself? I'm guaranteed he's missing arm side and it's flat. Right? He needs to stay in rhythm. Those three left-handers.
One of those did not stay the way Aaron Cook wanted it to on that inner half and was hit out of the ballpark. Tie this ball game up 1-1.
Eric Kratz out of the 8th spot in the lineup will be first against Aaron Cook here in the 3rd. Kratz snapped an 0 for 14 last night with a base hit.
A big, strong kid has stayed around at the AAA level, finally getting his shot here in the big leagues. Some people have talked about his bat being a little bit slow, but the last couple of years that has changed. Ball well for an out last night in right center. Had a base hit early in the game.
Ball and a strike on Kratz. More and more catchers going down with concussions, George, over the last several years.
And umpires.
And umpires. Mike Matheny's career cut short by it a few years ago. The former Cardinal and San Francisco Giant. And Ryan Doman is out, the starting catcher for the Pirates, with a concussion. That's why Kratz is in the big leagues. Here's the 1-2. Popped up, foul, out of play. Aaron Cook has had a lot of success in the big leagues with, as you know, his sinker. Because if you look at his strikeouts to walk splits, you wouldn't think he would have much success pitching at this level. I mean, it's basically always been almost, 1-1, 1.5 to 1. He does not strike many people out. He doesn't typically walk a lot of people, which is a good thing. And he's going to give up more hits in innings pitched because some of those ground balls find holes.
He's a ground ball pitcher. He's a contact guy. He's not a guy that's somebody's Greg Maddux. He's Tommy John. I mean, he's a guy that's going to hunt down contact. More times than not, you're going to hit it at people and get out.
And some of the better sinker ballers that the Rockies have seen a lot of over the last several years. Brandon Webb, when he's been healthy, maybe the best sinker in baseball, but you'd see a swing and miss curveball also. And then a guy that has been around forever, Derek Lowe, is now with Atlanta. You'd see the more sliders complementing that sinker. With Aaron, it's above 80% of the time that here comes that two-seamer.
Two-seamer, try to work fast, shorten bats up, make sure they get out in a hurry. And I think that's something that Cook, and he'll mix it in between slider and curveball, whatever seems to be working better that day.
And here's another 1-2. Ball had some cut to it. It's 2-2. Stands filling in. It won't be 47,000 as it was last night, but it's going to be a nice crowd again. And that is a souvenir for somebody in the crowd. Aaron this year has thrown more curveballs than at any other time, really, since early in his career.
Long at bat for Kratz, and this is what drives a sinker ball pitcher crazy. You've seen 10 pitches so far in this at bat, and it just drives you nuts because you've shown him everything. You've shown him inside, you've shown him outside, you've shown elevated, you've shown down, you've shown slow, you've shown hard, and he continues to nick the baseball.
And now it's 3-2. That's Sean Gallagher on deck. He got a phone call he wasn't expecting at 6:45. Bats finally gone. What a battle. First strikeout of the night. Check it, second strikeout of the night for Aaron Cook. Let's take a look at our Excel Energy fun fact. From April 26th to May 9th, back in 1908, the Pirates played only 3 games because of rain. 10 of their first 22, in fact, were wiped out. A desperate Barney Dreyfus, the Pirates owner, had a local tent maker put together a 120-foot square covering, and thus the infield tarp was born. And now you know the rest of the story. You can save up to $100 by leaving your thermostat between 72 and 78 degrees this summer. For more cooling information, go to responsiblebynature.com.
Well, once again, you learn something new every time you come to the ballpark.
Well, there was a trade just a few minutes ago, an interesting one. A former Rocky, guy's having a very good year. Scott Pasetnik was playing left field for the Royals. Well, he's not anymore. He's moved on to the Dodgers for a couple of minor league players to be named later. He's hitting over 300, 5 home runs, 44 RBIs, and on the right, George, that may be the biggest reason of any that the Dodgers went out and got Pasetnik. Man, he's been hurt. You got a guy who can steal bases.
Well, and again, he's going to play left field, which is where he has been playing with the Kansas City Royals. I'm not sure how long it's going to be before Manny gets back into the lineup. Jim Tracy obviously concerned about his own ball club. Like to see some good things happen. Will the Rockies make a trade before the deadline?
And the deadline again is Saturday. The non-waiver trade deadline. The scoreboard said 2-2. Did we miss something? Well, I guess they did miss something on the scoreboard. Nobody's sending him back. So Gallagher, who in his career is 0 for 15, walks with 1 out. Andrew McCutchen at the plate. Time for the breaks plus take a break poll of the game. Pick the bigger trade at the deadline. A couple of recent big deals in the National League. The Manny Ramirez deal sent him from Boston to the Dodgers, or the deal that sent Cliff Lee from Cleveland to Philadelphia last year. Show this text at Brakes Plus for $25 off any brake service or $10 off any oil change and filter this month at Brakes Plus. McCutchen hit a bouncer to short his first time. In fact, he chopped it off the plate. And it's 2-0. So deep counts here, which is unusual for Aaron Cook.
Quick first inning, 12 pitches. He's thrown 44 since then. It's been 4 3-ball counts in the ball game for him. That walk to Gallagher, his first in his big league career for Gallagher.
And it's 3-0 on McCutchen. So I asked Andrew what his best race was in high school. And he said the 100. I said, all right, what's your fastest time? He said, when I was in 10th grade, listen to this, Frazier, he ran a 10.3. This ball in the air, left center field. Carr goes to the this is it. He got in the neighborhood and just whiffed on it. Well, you never see that from Carlos Gonzalez. So runners at first and second with one out. And Jose Tabata coming up.
How close was Smith to him when he was getting to the baseball? That's the question you're going to be able to have answered here on the replay. Smith going to the backside in case the ball does get by him. He just flat whiffed it and missed it. There's no question about it. I mean, he just flat missed the baseball.
They haven't given that one an official ruling yet. I know Carlos Gonzalez will tell you he should have caught it, and he catches virtually everything.
Tabata, this is one area he has really excelled with this ball club, hitting nearly 400 with runners in scoring position.
He also has a 7-game hitting streak. You have a pitcher running, a relief pitcher at that, at second base. And it's an error on Gonzalez's second error this week. He didn't have any errors 3 days ago. Now he's got 2.
And I think that's the right call.
Two-strike count on Tabata. And this one could be trouble. Cook's got to get over there. No play. That's a smart decision by Johnny Herrera. Brad Hopp went after the baseball. So Aaron Cook was the only man to cover the bag. And Johnny Herrera, it was going to be a bang-bang play. He was going to try to hit a moving target. And he said, you know what? This wouldn't be smart. And it was the right decision to eat the baseball. That's the third ball I think we've seen bounce off home plate, George.
Well, hard sinkers down in the strike zone. You'll see a little bit of this, but as high as this ball was, if he does throw it to Cook, you miss the target. You got a run, possibly 2 coming in, because Olivo had stayed at home plate. Just try to get that double play ball and get out of an inning. It's not easy. Well, you got all the left-handers. Those left-handers Bob Apodaca talked about missing on the arm side. In other words, trying to come in and the ball running back to the middle. This is something you got to be careful with these lefties coming up.
And Walker's hitting .326 from the left side. He's a right-handed hitter. He's hitting .269. You know, line drive to deep left his first time. The Rockies are giving the Pirates an extra out here in the 3rd inning.
Pirates have struggled, bases loaded, 233 as a team. This is just the 7th time they've had the bases loaded this year.
What?
That's last night. No, excuse me. That was a certain hitter last night.
I was going to say, I know they've struggled to score runs. There's no way they've had it only loaded 7 times. I'll tell you one thing about the Pirates since the All-Star break, Frage. They've scored the 3rd most runs in the National League.
And they've had the bases loaded. I was corrected by Doug 60 times. Last night, Tabata had come up with the bases loaded. He was 1 for 6 at the time.
Yeah, that sounds.
Either way, their ball club's still struggling very much with 233 average with the bases loaded.
And so are the Rockies this year with the bases loaded. Here's the 1-1. And this is going to find the center of the diamond. McCutchen will follow Gallagher home. It's 3-1 Pittsburgh. Going from first to third is Tabata. Neil Walker with 2 more RBIs. The promising young players for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Let's look for this pitch, trying to go down and away with the pitch as it started to sink out of the strike zone. You see on the Hyundai cam, see how Olivo reaches back to the middle. That ball taken right back up the middle is what you want to do as a hitter against a sinker ball pitcher.
Garrett Jones, who homered leading off the 2nd inning. At the plate, deep right center field.
Got a ball the inner half of the plate, and it stayed down. A lot of left-handed bats like to take that ball as it runs back to the middle, and it did, right into the Pirate bullpen.
One question's about to be answered, George. Manuel Corpus will not close tonight because he's already up here in the third inning.
Trying to stop the bleeding quickly. Get a sinker ball guy in for Apodaca. Jim Wright, get him in the ball game. Tried to get the ground ball out.
This is pulled, and it's going to find a hole. Base hit. Tabata scores. Walker goes first to third. 4-1 Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's the kind of hit that you see Aaron Cook give up, a fair amount in the course of a season because the ball is in play, wasn't hit particularly hard, but it found an open spot.
Well, too, this is reminiscent right now of what was going on in Minnesota in that start for Aaron Cook, where a lot of balls just found holes and out of the reach of people. Think of this inning and how it was started after the strikeout, a walk to the pitcher, an error in center field, a high chopper to Johnny Herrera, then a ball hit hard up the middle, and then this seeing eye single to right.
Pedro Alvarez at the plate. And Alvarez with a base hit to left. Here comes the fifth run. And now a frustrated crowd giving a hard time to a frustrated ball club. And that will be all for Aaron Cook, as he goes just 2 1/3 tonight before Jim Tracy has to march out and take the baseball away. Manuel Corpus will come aboard. 5-1 Pittsburgh. Struggles typically have been out on the road, but tonight the Pirates have scored 5 against him, and they have 2 on with Lasting's Millage at the plate. Manuel Corpus gets a swing and a miss. Tonight's call to the bullpen is brought to you by Xfinity Voice. Unlimited local and long distance calling. Call 1-800-XFINITY.
I'm not sure many anticipated being in this ball game, just like Gallagher in the first, that he would be here in the top of this inning, replacing Aaron Cook. Short little fly ball to Hop at first for the second out of the inning.
And now the 9th man to come up will be Ronnie Cedeno. This is going to go down as the 3rd shortest start of the career, in the career of Aaron Cook. And one of the other 0-2. August 7th, 2004, when he was removed in the third inning, and they discovered the blood clot that nearly took his life.
Not to make excuses for Aaron Cook, but in that inning, fly ball caught in center. Ball's not hit very hard in the infield, but then you got to make a pitch to get out of what happened to create the bases loaded. And he wasn't able to do that. Hard ball hit up the middle, ground ball to the right side, and a line drive to left before he exited the game with 5 hits, 5 runs.
Yeah, and you look at some of the outs too. Walker, line drive deep left field. Lasting's Millage, line drive to right center, in which Gonzalez made a very nice play on. If you're Jim Tracy, you can't sit back and.
Well, not when you're
you've already seen 4 runs go up. I mean, it can't get worse than that. Not when you're right, George. Not when the bats are struggling. You haven't scored this many runs in more than a week.
Well, that's part of the thing, Drew. I mean, you're sitting there as a manager and you're going, I want this guy to get straightened out, but I also got to watch out and protect my ball club and not let this thing get carried away. And you're 1 hit away from it really getting ugly. If it, now you're just in the 3rd inning. You've got a few at bats to try to correct this. 7 to get yourself back into this game.
Here's the 0-2 on Cedeno. Slider misses 1-2. Manuel in this ball game is also going to get an at bat. He's going to lead off at the bottom of the 3rd. He's got to get out of it first. Pirates won 4-2 yesterday. It's the 2nd time they've won the opening game of a road trip in the last 3 months. Strike 3? No. 3-2. It's hard to tell. Jeff Nelson said something. I thought he was starting to say strike. I guess not.
Did he not? Yeah, well, came up and then just kind of hesitated. So it was a ball. Flashes 3-2 after being ahead by quite a bit.
Jones at second, Alvarez at first, and this ball is pulled down the line. Foul. Let's say baseball's traveling at a ballpark near you and it hits your windshield. Probably have a broken windshield. In that event, call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com. Missed. Fastball up and in. Cedeno strikes out. 9 come to bat of the 3rd inning for the Pirates and 4 cross home plate. 5-1. 470 Road Ahead, brought to you by E470. Quick, easy, and available to anyone. Test drive it today. Pirates tomorrow afternoon. We'll have the ball game right here on FSN Rocky Mountain. And the Cubs are in town over the weekend. Tuesday is finally an off day. The Rockies at that point will have played 17 straight without an off day. And then the Giants are here for 2 quick ball games. And then it's back to Pittsburgh. Corpus with his 5th at bat this year, facing Gallagher, 1-1. Pirates ahead 5-1. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, and Alana Rizzo on Coors Field. The Rockies yesterday, George, had the great crowd, and unfortunately the crowd could never really get behind the Rockies because the Rockies played from behind most of the night. The only time they were able to really get involved was on the back-to-back home runs by Hopp and Barnes.
Well, it really was. I mean, they had a good outing by De La Rosa, but it was kind of spread out. They give up 3 runs, but then the offense never came to life yesterday against Zach Duke and their bullpen.
Well, it better come to life tonight. 5-1. They trail, and Corpus draws a walk. So Gallagher, who received a walk from Cook, which should have started Aaron down the wrong path. Gallagher walks Manuel Corpus, who, as we said, has had just 5 plate appearances this year now.
Not a strike. Leadoff walk, make it worse to a pitcher that never hits.
According to the Ford strike zone, there was only 1 strike in that sequence. Seth Smith had a base hit his first time. 0-1 on Seth. First base runner allowed by Gallagher again, who came on with 2 outs in the first inning after Troy Tulowitzki hit a bullet that glanced off of Ross Ohlendorf's head and went into right field. Gallagher struck out Hopp to end the inning, then had a 1-2-3 second. 2-strike count on Smith. Further research, George, tells us that this is the first time Manuel Corpus has been on base since he was 11 years old back in Panama. I'm exaggerating only slightly. He's
Doug
never
Marino,
been,
that's pretty good. That's the $5.
Yeah. Actually, he's never been on base in the big leagues. Introduced himself to Glenn Allen Hills. I've never met you before.
Draw an arrow in the dirt. Tell you which way to go.
Garrett Jones, not surprisingly, is playing well behind Corpus. Give himself a little more range with Seth Smith at the plate. Don't move up, Manuel. 3-2. Good numbers for Smith against Gallagher. Here's the 3-2. And this ball's hit to right field. Millage is going to get there. And Corpus, who went halfway, comes back. Manuel did a good job reading that baseball because off the bat, an inexperienced runner might have thought, oh, automatic double.
Well, starting pitchers work an awful lot in spring training on base running, bunting, sacrificing. Relief pitchers typically are going to get 5 to maybe 7 at bats a year total. So they don't spend nearly the time, but Corpus, nice job there.
They changed the official scoring on the Andrew McCutcheon ball in left center field that went off of the glove of Carlos Gonzalez. They've now given McCutchen a base hit, so all of the runs in that inning are earned. Inside on Herrera. Here's the running attempt by Carlos Gonzalez. Originally ruled an error. And again, I think Carlos, who's such a great fielder, would tell you that he should catch that ball, but they've changed the scoring. And the final line on Aaron Cook, he goes 2 1/3. He gives up 5 runs, all of them earned on 5 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 2. Third shortest outing of his career. His shortest outing of his career came last year against the Pirates. McCutchen has that one. 2 outs. That'll bring up Gonzalez. Geico quote of the day, Rogers Hornsby, former Pirate. I don't want to play golf. When I hit a ball, I want somebody else to go chase it.
Well, obviously he hit a lot that they had to go chase.
Yes, he did. One of the statues outside PNC Ballpark in Pittsburgh.
Well, I believe the other statues really start Clemente. I think of the other two. Really, Stargell's statue was just put out a couple of years ago.
It's a beautiful ballpark. Here's the 1-0. 2-0. Base hit for Cargo his first time up. And then on a throwing error by, well, actually, it wasn't charged to Ross Ollendorf. I think Gary Jones lost a pick attempt in that sun that peeks in and really gives first baseman trouble early in ball games this time of day. 3-0. It became a 2-base error. Gonzalez at third with 2 outs, and Tulowitzki hit that line drive off of Ollendorf. That's how the Rockies scored their run. They had a brief 1-0 lead. Garrett Jones tied it with a home run in the top of the second. That's in there, 3-1. And then a cavalcade of runs in the third. 4 runs against Aaron Cook that chased him as the Pirates hit around. Well, when you're struggling, you seem to struggle in every facet. And that pitch misses. So now 2 on for Tulowitzki. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question. Browns will go to the mound. Name the 2 teams the Rockies have never made a trade with. That's a great question. We got an update finally on Ross Ollendorf. He has been taken from the Pirate clubhouse to a local hospital for tests. And you're going to do that for a cautionary standpoint at the very least. Who was it, George, the other day? You mentioned it yesterday that they got hit in the head, and it was on the flight home that they started to show concussion symptoms. They didn't initially. It was Jason Bay. 1-0 on Tulowitzki. 2 outs, 2 on for Colorado. That's in there, 1-1. I'll say this, Troy has had a couple of at-bats here in the first 2 ball games back with some traffic, and he has stayed patient. Very good at bat, obviously, in the first inning tonight. Waiting for his pitch. 2-1. You lose a pitcher early in a game, either because of injury or ineffectiveness, and it just throws your plan way off kilter if you're a manager.
Unless you got a guy out there that can go eat up 5 or 6 innings, which is a rarity to have in the National League. Most of those guys will operate out of the American League without the DH. With the DH in place, because obviously you don't have to pinch hit for it.
2-2 on Troy. missed 33 games. Rockies went 17-16 without him. Corpus at second, Gonzalez at first. And a front ball to center field. McCutcheon will wait. He's got it. So the Rockies lead 2 aboard the third. We'll go to the fourth. The Pirates up 5-1 at Coors Field. Centers where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Once again, here's Alana Rizzo.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Brad Hopp making his second straight career start at first base since he's been in the big leagues. I talked to Brad earlier today about how flexible he's had to be manning that first base position. He made that great play yesterday from Troy Tulowitzki where he had to really stretch out those legs. I said, did you realize you'd have to be so flexible over there? He said, you know what, it was just so instinctive. I was just basically, of course, going to where the ball was thrown. He said, I certainly don't have to do that in right field. He said, it's more of the diving catch, so more of the flexibility of the arms and moving quickly with your feet. He said, I can tell you, though, I'm a lot more sore in different places than I was playing right field, guys.
Ball gets to you a little quicker at first base than it does at right field.
Yes, it does.
Eric Kratz at the plate. Manny Corpus with the pitch. Strike one. Kratz had a lengthy at bat against Aaron Cook in the third inning. Leading off the third inning, in fact, and he struck out. And you think about it, George, the undoing for Cook was he walked Sean Gallagher. Otherwise, I mean, take care of a relief pitcher who's 0 for 15 in his career. You take care of Gallagher, there's 2 outs, nobody on.
Well, that's the big thing. I mean, you do that, and then you have a couple of balls hit that aren't hit hard, and then it just opens up a floodgate you can't get shut.
This is a pop-up right side. Herrera going out. Johnny waving his arms. Here's our AT&T trivia question again. Name the 2 clubs the Rockies have never made a deal with.
See, I'd guess them. I'm going to throw out Yankees. Is that one of them?
No, the Yankees. Remember, they traded Ramon Ramirez to the Yankees.
Pirates and
They
Phillies.
got Ramon Ramirez from the Yankees one year.
Huh.
They don't like Pennsylvania, evidently.
I guess.
They're not doing business in PA. One strike to count on Gallagher, and Corpus ahead 0-2. And Gallagher's gone on 3 pitches. 2 outs. That'll bring up Andrew McCutcheon. It'll take us to another mic'd up package with Bob Apodaca.
Corpy is going to have the same, problems because, he's a low ball pitcher. He sinks it, he slides it. So a Corpy, he can backdoor it.
McCutchen 1 for 2, credited with a single after initially reaching on an error by Carlos Gonzalez. That fly ball in left center field changed to a hit. This is how good a football player this kid was in high school. He only played his first 2 years, and then he focused on baseball. And yet, right around the time he was drafted by the Pirates, near the top of the first round, out of Fort Meade, Florida, the University of Miami said, "Oh, would you like a scholarship to play football down here?" He actually had signed with the University of Florida, and he was going to go to Gainesville and play baseball. The Pirates offered him a whole lot of money. Very polite, really quiet young man. Here's the 2-2. And it's poked to right, foul, and he's going to get near this one. Jim Tracy raves about Andrew McCutchen. When Tracy was the manager of the Pirates, now McCutchen wasn't in the big leagues yet, but he became very familiar with him during spring training.
And he's not loose with the praise. I mean, you're going to have to earn it from him.
3-2. And McCutchen and Neil Walker together made a point, as did a lot of players and coaches. But I saw those two come over and give a big bear hug to their former manager, their former leader, at least on the field for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Did he go? No swing, says Alan Porter.
Well, McCutchen thought he did. Well, no. Double checked again before he heads down. Well, he checked it.
Yeah, he didn't
go. Good call.
So McCutchen, 21 stolen bases in 27 attempts, is at first base with 2 outs.
It's a left-hander just brought up a couple of days ago. Will Ledesma, hard throwing left-hander.
Throwing the ball very well at AAA. He's got a lot of big league time. Stolen base leaders in the National League. McCutchen's 4th. Five runs, 6 hits for the Pirates tonight. Time for a Quest high-speed pitch. Gallagher's touched 93. Manuel has hit 92. That's brought to you by Quest, the high-speed internet provider of the Colorado Rockies. Pirates up 5-1 as they hit here in the 4th. The Rockies' leads, what few they've had, George, the last week have been very short-lived.
They have, and typically this Pirate Club has scored early in ball games. Last night they did. But the Rockies just have not been able to put anything on the board early and give some relaxation to their starting pitcher. It's unfortunate. Jim Tracy's hunting for the answers as Aaron Cook comes back out to watch his ball club, standing next to Todd Helton.
Todd with his Chris Sabo look tonight, George.
Well, he's doing whatever he can do to change things around. And then one of those is pick on Doogie. Keep Doug with the train.
Was it pick on Doogie night again? It's not right. He's getting a massage.
What's going on? Todd's going up in that cage and swinging the bat, getting those legs stronger, getting ready and prepared to come back and help this ball club.
McCutcheon started to go, stumbled, and is fortunate to get back. A tire almost blew out, George.
Yeah, it did. I mean, he got all the way out there. He's going, everything's shut down, and then the snap throw back. It goes so far into foul side of first base, difficult for Hop to make a play on it. Put it on the bag, he's out. Stumbled.
He even stumbles quickly.
He stumbled quickly right back to the bag.
Here's the 1-2 on Tabata. 2-2. Tabata's out of that Yankee organization. And Corpus ends the inning with a strikeout of Jose Tabata. McCutcheon left at first, 5-1 Pittsburgh. Brad Hopp will be first at the bottom of the fourth. Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By Dex One, marketing solutions, business results. By Old Chicago, eat, drink, be yourself. And by Hyundai Uncensored, real people, real comments on the 2011 Hyundai Sonata. Visit your Colorado Hyundai dealers today. One strike count on Brad Hopp. Gallagher delivers, and it's chopped foul. 2-strike count on the Rockies' first baseman, Brad Hopp. The home run yesterday for Hopp, career home run number 117, career home run number 1 as a first baseman for Bradley. Had a nice little piece on Brad last inning. That was quite a stretch yesterday, complimenting the fine play made by Tulowitzki. The guy that Jim Tracy likes to compare Brad Hopp to is Sean Green. When Tracy was managing the Dodgers, Sean Green was, former Gold Glove right fielder when he was with Toronto, and they had a need at first base, and he hadn't even asked Green, as Brad's gone here, he hadn't even asked Green to play first, but sometimes veteran players will, during batting practice, will go mess around, if you will, at another position. And Green would go to first base after he got his outfield work in. And it caught the eye of Jim Tracy. He said, you know, he looks pretty natural over there. They had a need, and he played a very fine first base for them one year. And he saw the same thing with Brad Hopp. Now, Brad has a background at first, as most of you are aware.
Brad originally drafted out of high school as a pitcher. He went to LSU and played first base and made the transfer to the outfield in the Rockies organization very early.
You know, he was a very good high school pitcher. The guy at the plate, Ryan Spilborghs, pretty good high school football player too, growing up in Santa Barbara.
If you haven't read the papers or noticed the schedule, there's a team coming to town that a lot of people like to come out and watch. It's Lou Piniella's last trip to Coors Field in a Cub uniform. The Chicago Cubs are coming to town for July 30th through August 1st. Get your tickets for that series this weekend at Coors Field. Nice catch, brought a glove and you used it. I like it.
Nice catch, sir.
Yeah, like an old pro. So he'll buy that same tape for the Cubs series this weekend, July 30th through August 1st. Watch this. Here comes the ball. Let me snag this for you. Everybody relax behind me. I got it.
That section there gets a lot of baseballs.
They all come over to check on it. That's one thing the guards do here. Very nice job of. They'll come over to check on everybody when the ball's hit into the seats.
And everybody's fine. You get the safe side. Three and two on Spilborghs. Ryan struck out in the second. John Russell, you have to be thrilled with what Gallagher's done so far.
Well, absolutely. He gave him a lead or tied the game in the second, and he was able to contain the Rockies for a couple of innings. But one out here in the fourth.
And a strikeout of Spilborghs. Back-to-back strikeouts. He has struck out 4. He's allowed only 2 base runners, both walks. Nobody's gotten a hit off him.
Hard slider down and away, but the arm speed and body made it appear to be a fastball. That's what suckered Spilborghs into the swing.
It's amazing how tough this game can be. You're looking at this club offensively and you're saying, is this the same team we watched heading into the All-Star break when they beat up the great pitching staffs of the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Padres? I mean, every night the Rockies were putting up a crooked number.
Well, there was all kinds of
they can't buy a hit right now.
There's all kinds of magic going on at Coors Field, scoring 9 runs in 1 inning, on the bottom of an inning, 5 runs, 4 runs, yet they were still doing it. You didn't ever anticipate that type of result over and over again. Well, Taylor Buckles, a couple of successful innings in Philadelphia the other day, starting to warm up in the Rockies bullpen.
Outside on Stewart, 3-0. Stewart to first, 3rd walk allowed by Gallagher, but no hits. Miguel Olivo grounded to 3rd back in the 2nd inning against Sean Gallagher.
John Russell's coming out of the dugout. Typically at this slow of a walk, it's a move made by a manager to the bullpen. Man, going down to the bullpen. I know Gallagher, you got to watch it. 57 pitches thrown so far for him. He did a heck of a job for this ball club. He's just going to get an attaboy and a pat on the back, but he saved the bullpen so far.
5-1 Pirates. leading 5-1. They're 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Miguel Olivo's coming up, and he's going to get Will Ledesma, who's making his first appearance in the big leagues since an April ball game in 2009 when Ledesma was employed by the Washington Nationals.
He throws the ball very, very hard. He's been around a while, 29 years old, made an early entrance into the big leagues with Detroit in 03, 04, and 05, all the way to 07. They went to Atlanta, San Diego. It's where the Rockies first got a look at him in 07. Pitched in 9 ball games there. Last year, Drew mentioned 5 games with the Washington Nationals. Hard throwing lefty. When he's right, he can get it in the mid-90s with a pretty good breaking ball. Pitched very well at the AAA level this year. 38 games at 0.94 earned run average.
Padres in 07 and 08. On Miguel Olivo.
Well, not fun at all when this happens to you. Just ricocheted that ball off of his shin. We'll sit on the Hyundai cam here out front, follow the ball off of that, off the bat, off the shin. And a real ugly look on Miguel's face.
Stewart at first, 2-strike count. Ledesma to Olivo. Ledesma closing games for Indianapolis in AAA. Doing a real good job of it. And he strikes out Olivo. We move to the 5th inning. The Rockies struck out 6 times in 4 innings.
The switch hitter, Walker. I think your slider is better back door on him than coming down and in for a strike. Okay? He handles the breaking pitch down.
I said talking more about off speed away than anything. He just doesn't want to give him something hard down and in with the fastball or the slider.
Well, here comes the middle of the order for the Pirates. Some of those lefties he was talking about. Neil Walker, switch hitter in from the left side. 2-run single in the third. Garrett Jones is 2 for 2, a home run and a single that drove in a run in the third. Pedro Alvarez, an RBI hit, part of that 4-run third. He stays away with a fastball there. 0-1 on Walker. Walker second to Buster Posey among rookies in batting average this year. Posey hitting .366, Walker at .310. There's the group. Starlin Castro we'll see over the weekend. Rookie shortstop of the Chicago Cubs. Gabby Sanchez we just saw down in Florida. Walker 6'3", 225 pounds. Bigger second baseman than you generally see. 11th pick in the 2004 draft. Gibsonia, Pennsylvania. He's another guy that was a very good high school football player. Strike 3 on Walker.
Did exactly what Apodaca wanted him to do. Off-speed stuff away. Was able to command his breaking ball, the slider, on that outer half of the plate, and he kept it down.
Who Wants Tacos? Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs for the Rockies Taco Special, text the keyword taco to 95323. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. 4 strikeouts for Corpus in relief of Aaron Cook, who edges 2 1/3, gave up 5 runs on 5 hits, walked 1, struck out 2. Corpus is not allowed to hit. Gallagher has not allowed a hit. Two and 1. Giants played a wild one at home against Florida today. Florida, that's a base hit. Florida tied up the ball game with a couple of runs against Brian Wilson. There's a throw to second, not in time. And Garrett Jones is 3 for 3. Home run, single, and a double tonight. And then the Giants got a walk-off single from Andres Torres to win. Pedro Alvarez will be coming up.
Go ahead. I was just looking at the San Diego score to see. It looks like Kuroda's pitching for the Dodgers. San Diego.
For those that didn't stay up, the Dodgers beat the Padres 2-0. A pinch hit, base hit by Andre Ethier, the difference that drove in 2 runs in the 7th inning. The reason Ethier didn't start, he had flu-like symptoms, but he still made a difference in that ball game. The Rockies began the day 8 games behind the Padres. The Giants began the day 2.5 back. The Dodgers 5 back. Everybody in front of the Rockies continues to win. And the Rockies playing their poorest baseball in a couple of years. Losers of 7 straight, and they're down 5-1 here. And other than the first inning, they've got nothing done on offense. Not even really hard hit ball, George.
There hasn't been, unfortunately. Last ball hit hard. I'm trying to think. Was the ball hit by Tulowitzki? Unfortunately, hit Ohlendorf in the head.
Mentioned that Oakland 3-0 score over Texas because Oakland got news today. Ben Sheets, who they just put on the disabled list with elbow issues. Ben Sheets has spent more time on the disabled list than on a pitcher's mound in his career. He's great talent, but he's always battled different arm issues, shoulder issues. He's now out for the year.
Well, he also had the finger issues the last couple of years. One bit of $10 million in a team like Oakland could ill afford to make a bad choice. Billy Beane made one there.
ball 4. So Alvarez almost was one of those unintentional, intentional walks to get a force all around. See if Manuel can get a ground ball from Lasting's Millage. I think Billy Beane, I'm only guessing on this, he figured, all right, we'll spend $10 million on the often injured Ben Sheets, hoping that even if we don't contend, talking about the A's, they could flip him for some prospects around this time of year. Well, you can't flip a guy who's out for the year.
You might if he's $3 or $5 million, but I don't know anybody's going to take on $10 million. Well, he just seen Corpus 3 times. He's 1 for 3. He's hit a long ball off of it. Corpus just trying to flip a double play right now and get this thing over with. Put his team in the dugout.
Here's the 1-strike pitch to Millage. This should be 2. 4-6-3 on the turn. Nicely done by Manuel Corpus. He's done his job. He's kept the Rockies within 4, but the bats have to come alive. You'll get a pinch hitter for Corpus leading things off in the bottom of the 5th. .5-1 Pirates, bottom of the 5th inning. Well, they'll miss Rockies All Access tomorrow at 7 p.m. featuring the Rockies baseball family and their upbringing through the minor league system. Take a look back with the current Rockies and see how their homegrown development shaped the clubhouse of the 2010 team. That and other stories on Rockies All Access. That's tomorrow at 7 p.m. Dexter Fowler at the plate. Dexter pinch hitting for Manuel Corpus. Corpus did a great job. 2 2/3. Didn't give up a run. 1 hit, couple of walks, 4 strikeouts.
Well, he asked, he did exactly what Jim Tracy asked, and that is to get control of the ball game. Now it's up to the offense to get back in it.
Rockies have 3 hits. They came within the first 4 batters of the ball game. Taylor Buchholz apparently will be next. 1-1 on Dexter, playing in front of mom and dad. John and Trudy here from Atlanta. They catch a lot of ball games during the
Crowd trying to get this club going a little bit.
Dexter pulls his hands in and lines it to left field. Tabata with the catch, 1 out. That'll bring up Seth Smith. He had a base hit in the first, and a line drive to deep right field that was tracked down by Lansing's Millage. Third pitcher tonight used by Pittsburgh, Will Ledesma. Gallagher went 3 innings, did not allow a run or a hit. He walked 3 batters. He struck out 4.
I think all that he is trying to do, that John's trying to do, is get this ball club into that 6th, 7th inning range where he can go to Meek and Hanrahan and then Dotel. That to me, that's what his goal is right now.
Two balls, no strikes on Seth Smith. This is a Pirate team. Came to Colorado 30 games under 500. 2-1.
Smith, another one of those Rockies hitters that has had success over a period of time against the Pirates, hitting over 400 in 16 career ball games.
Three and 1. Pirates came to Coors Field, 15th in the league in ERA. They'd scored the fewest amount of runs in the National League, and they'd allowed the 3rd most. Only Arizona and Milwaukee have allowed more runs. 3-1 on Smith. This ball's hit the deep center field. McCutchen going back, and he makes this catch. He's upset with himself. He may have gotten hurt, George.
Yeah, he might have the shoulder.
Yeah, that's the shoulder that he hurt last week, and he missed several ball games. And that wall is padded, but he hit it going full speed. Is this as good? And we get to see very good center field play. Fowler and Gonzalez can both play center field. Is this kid as good as you've seen?
Well, yeah. I mean, our 2 guys obviously very good, but this kid here's something else. I mean, to see him go gap to gap and go straight back onto the wall right now, and, you know, he knows. He knows when he hit the wall. He knows exactly what happened to him. To tell you how tough this kid is. See, I mean, I tell you what. You know, let's say that wall's padded, but when we get out here, I'd like to, if we could, please keep a shot on this wall real quick. See where he hit? He hit right here in one of those cracks. You know, those cracks have braces. Those are 4x8 sections, or 4x10 sections, and they have braces behind them to obviously keep them up. And all the padding is there for is just to absorb the shock.
That's 4 catches, highlight variety catches that he has made in these 2 ball games.
Look at the wall.
You know one thing, he does not want to come out.
No, he doesn't. You're absolutely right. He does not want to come out. Let's see what they do here. See if they start flipping it around. Hey, he's kind of waving them off a little bit. I guess he's going to stay in the ball game. Unfortunately. Like you see, he's on the dead fly after this baseball. No fear whatsoever to make a play on this ball and then just catch the baseball and contact made. Crazy. The trainers had a little bit of a long night tonight. The ricochet shot off the top of the head.
And one of their trainers, I'm sure, accompanying Ross Ohlendorf to the hospital. 2 outs. Will Ledesma will face Jonathan Herrera. Herrera lined into a double play in the first and hit a fly ball to center field. And McCutchen in the third inning. Rocky's last base hit was Tulowitzki's shot off of Ross Ohlendorf. Here's Troy.
That seems like a long time ago with all the timeouts that we've had to endure with the injuries. Pitching changes, walks. Rockies have walked 3, the Pirates 3. Jim Tracy, he's watching this ball game, but his thought process is working towards what has gone wrong with his team and how to fix it.
(2-0), 2-1. Joe, you were kidding, not about the injuries, obviously, but in elapsed time, George, it literally has been almost 2 hours since the Rockies had a base hit.
That's quite a while. And this is against a club. Oh, thought you might have had one there.
Can't hit it any harder, but he hit it in the wrong spot, right at Garrett Jones. 1-2-3 inning for Ledesma. McCutchen jogs off after the great catch. Pirates leading 5-1. Buchholz up next. At Coors Field, this date in history is brought to you by Dex One Marketing Solutions Business Results. July 28, 2001, a very special day for Melvin Mora and his wife Giselle. She gave birth to quintuplets, 3 girls, 2 boys, all weighing at the time under 2.5 pounds. And we see them during the season from time to time, George, in the back hallway during spring training. What a beautiful family the Moras have. For more on their clan, here's Alana Rizzo.
Can you imagine what that day must have been like for the Moras, guys? I talked to Melvin earlier today, and he was actually in Anaheim playing against the Angels. His wife Giselle gave birth to the babies in Baltimore, where they resided at the time, where she still resides actually. And he said, I said, what was that day like for you? He said, I was in Anaheim, I got the call, we knew it was going to be that day. We of course didn't know exactly what time. By the time I got to Baltimore, All 5 babies were already there. They named them A, B, C, D, and E. And I asked him, what was it like when you took them home? He said, we didn't even get to take them home all at once. He said some were stronger than the other ones, so we got to take them home one at a time. I would take A home, then I'd have to bring A back. We would take C home. I'd have to bring C back. Then D and E got to come home. He said, a very special day for those guys. Obviously 9 years old today. Happy birthday to the Mora Quints, guys.
All right, Alana, they're not still A, B, C, D, and E. We would hope, but as I said, they are, what a beautiful family the Moras have. And George, you when you have 5 at a time, and you have a pretty big family yourself, you have 5 at a time, you get yourself a big vehicle to drive everybody around.
Absolutely. Yellow school bus. Third appearance now for Taylor Buckholz. Good to see the righty back on the hill. Such a big part of what the Rockies did in '07. And unfortunately, had some things derailed personally with his elbow. And that Tommy John made it very difficult to come back. But he has fought this road and fought it hard to get back where he is. A very good outing against Philadelphia for 2 innings on Monday, and here he is back out again in a 5-1 Rockies deficit here in the 6th inning. We're going to eat up innings.
We're going to show you a little older picture of the Moras. Now, this is a few years ago, and it's Christian and Matthew, David, the 3 girls, Genesis, Rebecca, and Jada Priscilla, and the older sister's Tatiana. Center field, here comes Cargo, will get there, and Cedeno's retired. Eric Kratz, who's 0 for 2, will face Taylor here in the 6th inning. It's a hard, snapping, breaking ball of Taylor Buckholz.
Power curveball is judged by velocity and break. And the velocity 77.82 is a powerful curveball. It's about where he is with his breaking ball.
Smith underneath it, 2 outs.
Well, Taylor Buckholz, what you have is a very short, quick arm action to the plate.
Andy LaRoche will be the pinch hitter here for the pitcher Ledesma. For all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Bricanier at 303-777-3037. Think green, think Bricanier. He's a former Rocky, former Boston Red Sox. Guy who still makes his home in the Denver area, Javier Lopez. Breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-1 on LaRoche.
The last start for LaRoche was July 2nd. Pedro Alvarez up in 3rd. LaRoche can play 3rd. He can play 2nd base. Kind of right-handed bat off of the bench now for them.
Stewart. Good pick up at first by Brad Hop. 1, 2, 3, 6th inning for Taylor Buckholz. Cargo lead it off 5-1 Pirates. Nice running catch by Carlos Gonzalez earlier in the ball game. Taking extra bases away. That was the Frostproof Coors Light Freeze Can. You know, the Rockies need to get going offensively, and it will begin with the guy who made that catch, Carlos Gonzalez. And he will face Javier Lopez. Javi Lopez, who makes his home in the Golden area. He and his wife and their baby girl. In fact, Javi getting to sleep at home for a couple of days while the Pirates are in town.
See those numbers, 48th appearance now after just 36 innings. Here to get left-handers out, and he's got one to face very early here, Gonzalez.
Javi with the Rockies in 03, 04, and 05. One strike count on Gonzalez. We have another update for you on Ross Ohlendorf, and it's good news. He had a CT scan and it came back negative, which is what you want.
Very good.
And he has a contusion and an abrasion on the side of his head. He's returned to the Pirate clubhouse. So that is great news for Ross Ohlendorf, who took a line drive off his head from Tulowitzki. If this is fair, it is gone. It is into the second deck, maybe the third deck. It's hard to tell. It hit the facade of the third deck.
With the facing of the third deck, that ball was crushed. You don't see many go to that third deck area. 13 years, I've seen a few. We can add to the list now Gonzalez.
18th home run for Cargo. First hit for the Rockies since the first inning. And it's 5-2. Maybe that'll get the Rockies going. Look at this thing again.
First hit, sweeping slider that forgot to sweep to the outer half of the plate. And it's exactly what happened on the Hyundai Cam. He got every bit of this thing. Flight continued. Just look up there and you'll see it hit off of that third deck facade and it dropped straight down.
Tulowitzki, this will be a tough play at third by Alvarez. He throws it away. Tulowitzki trying to move up, and he's in trouble. He's out. Backing up the play, Neil Walker. He fires to Ronnie Cedeno. And the Rockies make another base running error. When you're down by 3 runs, you can't have those. They had it last night. Spielborg's trying to stretch a double into a triple, leading off an inning down by 2 runs. Err on the side of conservatism.
Well, I would agree. Bare hand, Alvarez, wild throw. And again, Wilson didn't get off the bag long enough to go get to the baseball, throwing extremely hard, and then this long throw down.
And it wasn't even a good throw, George.
No, bad throw. Had to go get the baseball and come back to get to the whiskey.
It has scored a base hit. 4-6 on the attempt to advance.
11 of those 18 home runs that Gonzalez has hit now have been solo home runs.
Yeah.
The Rockies are 12-5 when he hits that home run.
You know, I understand as an athlete, and you know, nobody's as competitive as Troy Tulowitzki. You're trying to do everything you can to get your club jump started, trying to get them jump started tonight, headed in the right direction. But it's still, you got to let it happen. You can't force things. As Hop grounds out to short when they're ill-advised, and when you're down by 3 runs, you have to know you can get there standing up before it's a good play. Two outs. Spielborg's 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts. second run that Lopez has given up in his last 14 outings.
Fastball a little stiffer than what you're normally used to seeing. It was 89 miles an hour on that last fastball. He had cut fastball that time. And he ran at 81 and cut it. Boston was there for quite some time after leaving Colorado, short stint in Arizona, and back and forth with Boston between AAA and the big leagues. Was in the World Series or on the World Series club with Boston. Pitched in a ball game, gave up 2 hits in the World Series in 07 versus the Rockies.
Here's the 2-2. Spilborghs drives it to center field. McCutcheon going back. And he's not going to get this one. And Spilborghs will shut it down at second base with a 2-out double. That'll bring up Stewart. George, if he caught that one, I quit.
Well, I don't think he thought the ball was hit that hard, Drew. He stopped and froze off of the bat, then took off to the baseball. Watch on the replay, you'll see when maybe you'll get a shot of this in the middle of center field. So you see the eyes of Spilborghs on the Hyundai can, tracking, following this baseball. But he just kind of froze on the ball in center field. Then when it was hit, then he took off and kind of took a move towards their bullpen and then tried to outrun it.
It's shocking when he doesn't catch it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it really is. And again, you're wondering a ball hit towards that wall in center field, how aggressive he's going to be once he hits that warning track anyway with that shoulder, the way it was on the last play.
Stewart 0 for 1 and a walk. Strike one. That home run that Cargo hit off the facade of the third deck. Just the second home run that Javi Lopez has given up all year. The other home run he gave up back in April against Prince Fielder. When he gives them up, he gives them up to good players. Top shelf players. Where he really dropped down there.
Yeah, and it's a big sweeping slider. I mean, there's not a lot of velocity to it, but it's all about the movement and location. Started behind the left-hander, crossfire all the way to the other side, and hope that you get it in the strike zone. You know, this is an area Stewart has excelled with his 48 RBIs. Runner in scoring position with a couple of outs. He's hit 283. With 1 or no outs, he's hit just 227 with runners in scoring position.
Matt Belisle. 1 and 2 on Stewart. Stewart at 232 against lefties. Better than last year. Not nearly as good as he was in 08. He was tremendous against left-handed pitching in 08. That's going to get out of play down the left field line despite the attempt of top it up. A reminder that when your windshield needs replacing, call Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000. Check them out online at safelite.com. Ian Stewart trying to drive home Ryan Spilborghs, who doubled over the head of Andrew McCutcheon a moment ago. Rockies had 3 hits in the first, no hits till this inning. Since then, now they have 3 here in the inning. Swung on and missed. Lopez strikes out Stewart. Spilborghs left at second. The Rockies get 1 run back on Cargo's 18th of the year. And what a home run it was. again. Congratulations, Chris and Lisa Iannetta. Ashlyn Brooke Iannetta, born this afternoon, 6 pounds 9 ounces. Mom, baby girl doing well. Chris kind of floating out there in the bullpen, talking to Mark Strittmatter, Rocky's bullpen coach. He's got a couple kids at home as well. So, you know what, the Iannettas, just George, is same as the Moores. They named their first kid AB, Ashlyn Brooke. Andrew McCutcheon at the plate takes ball 1. Second inning of work for Taylor Buchholz. McCutcheon 1 for 2 and a walk. 7th inning. 5-2 Pirates. On the ground, deep in the hole. Tulowitzki didn't quite get it. And I think McCutcheon, maybe a couple of other guys in the game, the only folks that Tulowitzki would not have gotten with that effort.
It's a difficult play. First you get shadowed a little bit by Stewart, then it's just, you got to exchange it, and you got to get very quick with it. Brad Hoppett, 6'3", 6'4", strides as far as he can to get out to get to this baseball. Nice job of picking it there. It's just the speed outran everything.
Whatever Brad's cracking up Andrew McCutcheon, he's challenged him to a foot race. Talbot at the plate. And you're going to have to keep a close eye. 3-run ball game, 7th inning. You got a guy with 21 bags at first base.
That's one thing the Pirates were able to do yesterday's ball game, was to add on late in the game with a home run. Make it a 2-run game. You don't need that here. It's already a 3. Don't need to get it expanded anymore.
Tabata, 1 for 3. He had an infield hit in the 3rd inning. There's a bunt right off the plate, and Olivo's going to have to hustle to get Tabata, who runs well. Good play by Miguel.
Well, it was a nice play by Miguel, but on July 31st, the first 15,000 will receive a Jason Giambi tee, courtesy of King Soopers. That's right, tied to Jason Giambi and King Soopers, a great team. And on Saturdays, the Cubs are in town. The first 15,000 through the gates will receive one.
Neil Walker, 2-run single in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Rockies led 1-0 early. Pirates got a home run in the 2nd from Garrett Jones. 4 runs to chase Aaron Cook in the 3rd.
And they're trying to get Randy Flores loose as fast as they can to face 1 or maybe 2 of these lefties. The thing Buchholz has in his repertoire, though, is that hard breaking ball. Works to his advantage against left-handers.
Well, the thinking, you know, with Jim Tracy all along was to have Buchholz face Walker. Walker's a switch hitter. But with Jones and Alvarez looming, both of those guys hit just from the left side. That's when you want to have Flores available. Runner going, and Stewart applied the tag. McCutcheon's out. Great throw by Miguel Olivo.
I'm very surprised he would do that with 1 out. They say he gets antsy and wants to increase that stolen base number. Thinking Buchholz didn't get a hold of it, but a great exchange by Miguel Olivo and the perfect throw down. Stewart on the collision on the Hyundai cam. You'll see him apply the tag, and then the pressure with that high cleat coming in. He just rolled him back over onto the backside, and Stewart able to apply the tag.
You know what? Initially, I don't know if he was out.
And again, that's not a very smart thing to do on the base running side, even though as quick as he is with a left-handed bat up, it gives a clear path for a throw for Olivo, and he did a good job of it. 7th time he's been caught this year.
He's in scoring position. You got a guy who's swinging the bat better than 3.
Well, he can run. He can run, too. He can fly out at second base hit. Typically, he's probably going to score.
Yeah, the risk reward there, not worth it. Rocky's glad he did go. 3-1 on Walker. Foul ball. Buchholz with a 3-2 count on Neil Walker. And the breaking ball strike 3. Walker's gone. Buchholz gets out of the 7th without any damage. Nice throw by Miguel Olivo to cut down Andrew McCutchen. Stretch time at Coors Field. The Rockies need some offense. 5-2 they trail. Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by the Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. By the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Call 303-571-1114 and ask about our hometown sports package. And by King Soopers, our people make the difference. Downtown Denver, the Rockies trailing the Pirates again, 5-2 after losing 4-2 last night. And they're running out of time. 9 outs to work with offensively. DJ Carrasco will make his 45th appearance.
395 earned run average. He doesn't walk many. Double that up. 44-22 in that category. He has 4 holes on the season. And he's kept the ball in the ballpark. Pretty good fastball shown there by Carrasco. Throw a cutter up to 91 miles an hour. He does have a slider changeup. Fastball average around 90.
And Olivo bounces to Walker. Melvin Mora will pinch hit here in the 7th. In the pitcher spot.
Yeah, get it in with a shot that Giambi can win a ball game. They have no left-handers in their bullpen now. That Ledesma and Lopez both have pitched in this game. Randy Flores continues to throw for the Rockies. It appears he will pitch the 8th, and unless the Rockies get this thing tied up, and then Jim Tracy may go another direction.
Giambi hoping for a meaningful at bat late in this ball game. One ball, one strike on Mora. Two and one. And that slider's off the plate. It's 3-1. DJ Carrasco, the high school in California, and then went to Pima Community College in Arizona. And a ground ball to Walker again.
Follow the Rockies on your phone with MLB.com at bat, featuring highlights and much more.
Smith today 1 for 3, had a base hit in the bottom of the first. Was robbed of, in all likelihood, a double on a great catch by McCutchen. And this ball is hit to deep left center field. Can McCutchen get to this one? And it's going to bounce up off the warning track over the wall for a ground rule double. So the Rockies finally have found a couple of spots where you can actually hit a baseball and not have Andrew McCutchen catch it. Last inning, Ryan Spilborg's able to hit one over his head.
Now this ball out into left center, playing with the right-hander on the mound, maybe to pull a little bit. Appeared to be an off-speed pitch on that outside part of the plate. The Hyundai Cam, solid contact on a ball that was up in the strike zone. Hit into left center field. The Rockies have a runner in scoring position and a hot bat, Johnny Herrera, at the plate. No left-handers left in their bullpen with Gonzalez behind Johnny.
FSN Rocky Mountains, your home for exclusive Rockies coverage. Text FSNRM to 95323 to receive the latest Rockies updates to your phone. Message and data rates may apply. Johnny Herrera is lined out in this game twice. Hit a rocket at Garrett Jones 2 innings ago. That's in there, 1-1. And Johnny were able to come through the base hit here. Smith in all likelihood would score, and he'd have the tying run at the plate in Carlos Gonzalez.
That explains a lot of the Rockies' struggles late in ball games and one-run games. They've already played 33 one-run ball games this year. There were 2 outs and runners in scoring position. This ball club has hit .219.
Ball and 2 strikes on Herrera. We've talked about it a lot over the last 6 weeks. Johnny's a good 2-strike hitter. Not this time, though. chased above his hands. Carrasco strikes him out. Smith left at second. The struggles for the Rockies on offense continue. We go to the 8th, 5-2 Pirates. Cooney Lexus look back. First inning, the Rockies got a run. This was scary. Troy Tulowitzki lines one off the head of Ross Ohlendorf. The ball ricocheted all the way to right field. Ohlendorf was removed from the game. He has since gone to the hospital and come back, and he is okay. He does have a facial abrasion. But the Pirates, after tying it on a Garrett Jones home run, scored 4 in the 3rd inning. Take a 5-1 lead. 4 straight hits at one point. The Rockies got a run back on a monstrous home run by Carlos Gonzalez off of Javi Lopez, his team leading 18th of the year off the facade of the 3rd deck. 5-2 is where we stand. And Randy Flores is on to throw the top of the 8th inning. It'll be appearance number 41 this year.
He's done a nice job in this situation. I mean, you see the only 23 innings pitched in 40, but to come in and work out of an inning when the club's down a couple of runs, come in and try to hold things down to give the offense that chance.
Jones fouls it off. Let's take a look at the Amica hit zone on Garrett Jones, who had 21 home runs last year and a little more than 300 at bats. Amica, it's not how you're covered, it's how you are treated. Likes the ball in the middle half of the plate.
Well, this is all against either right-handed or left-handers. So, I mean, you know, obviously this is going to be your left-handed slider down and away. This could be that 091 down and in, a back foot slider. But he sure does like the ball out over the plate, I can tell you that. You see that big number at the top, right in the middle of 500. That may be 1 for 2, but whatever it is, it's still 500. And down and in, the ball he's hit very well in this series, 471.
0-2, and this is lifted to right field and deep. And Garrett Jones has hit another.
Very similar to the breaking ball that Gonzalez obviously hit farther, 442 feet, but it was a hanging slider that didn't get to the outside part of the plate. It stayed middle half in and paid for it.
How about the night that Garrett Jones has had? Home run, single that drove in a run, a double, and another home. 60 RBIs for Jones.
See, watch this breaking ball where it is. Tried to take something off of it, and when you do that and at altitude, a tendency, if you don't stay on top and through the ball, it'll stay up in the zone. That one did.
Alvarez is 1 for 2 in a walk tonight. Third time in Jones's career that he's had a multiple home run game. She had one opening day this year against the Dodgers. (6-2) Pittsburgh. Just missed. 2-2. You hit a spot like this, George, and nothing a manager can do. You can't go up there and say, hey, you hit a double, you hit a single, you hit a 3-run homer. It just doesn't work that way.
But what you try to do is to mix match your lineup, maybe to light a fire somewhere. You know, Hop yesterday hit me low in the order, 7th, and had the double in the home run. He got scooted up a little bit against the right-handed starter who he had success against. And, you know, unfortunately, it didn't work out, you know, with Hop. A couple of strikeouts and a ground out. But that's what you're trying to do as a manager. You know, you're trying to move the pieces, put them in another spot. Maybe something will happen. It just hasn't happened.
One out, Lastings Millage, who's 0 for 3. Will step up. He will not face Randy Flores. He will face Matt Belisle. Too many walks to the mound for Jim Tracy's liking. I can guarantee you that. 6-2 Pirates. So Belisle will come aboard. He'll face Millage when we come back to Coors Field. Garrett Jones has made it 6-2 with his second home run of the night. Well, in a busy Pittsburgh dugout, the gentleman sitting down with the cap on and the dark top is Ross Ohlendorf. So he is indeed not only back inside the clubhouse, he's in the dugout. And I'm sure his teammates are thrilled to see him okay. Here's what happened to him if you're late joining the ball game tonight. In the first inning, with Troy Tulowitzki at the plate, Carlos Gonzalez at third, throws a bullet off of the right side of his head. He has a bruise naturally. Troy frightened by it, an abrasion, but a CT scan was negative at the hospital. And there's been no word of a concussion. Amazing.
He'll be checked on 2 or 3 times during the night to make sure that he's okay at the hotel room by his trainer.
0-1 on Cedeno. He lays down a bunt. That's foul. 0-2. Rockies in the bottom of the 8th inning will have Gonzalez, Tulowitzki, and Hopp. They're down 4 runs. Cook was charged with 5. And Randy Flores gave up that solo home run to Garrett Jones. Manuel Corpus 2 2/3 of shutout baseball. He allowed just 1 hit. Taylor Buchholz 2 more scoreless innings. Good to see Taylor throwing the ball well.
Threw the ball very well. That's 4 shutout now with the 2 over in Philadelphia. He had the 1 little hiccup, and he admittedly, when I talked to him about the first outing, he said, "Man, it was the surroundings. It's the double deck. It's Philly. I'm home. It's everything. I was nervous, and then second day I felt much better." Well, the punch out was Cedeno ends the inning. Matt Bilal comes on and retires 2 in a row. The Rockies trail it in this ball game 6-2.
I'm running out on the Rockies. They need a significant late rally. Time for a Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Carlos Gonzalez in his last at bat nearly hit one out of the stadium. Against Javier Lopez, he got a breaking pitch. He kept his hands back, and then he hit it 442 feet off the beam, one of the beams that supports the 3rd deck.
Right here again, Joel Hanrahan, a hard-throwing right-hander, is going to come into this ball game, make his 46th appearance, 17 holds, tied for 7th in the National League, 350 earned run average, 43 2/3 innings thrown, struck out 59.
Fastball in there for a strike at 95. Sixth pitcher that John Russell's had to utilize tonight after the injury to Ross Ohlendorf 2 outs into the ball game. With the Pirates, a team that has pitched very poorly this year, has kept the Rockies at bay over the last 2 days. Rockies got 2 runs yesterday. That's all they've got tonight.
You think about it, their bullpen has accounted for today 7 2/3, and then last night 4 innings, so 11 2/3 innings, 1 run given up by their bullpen, and that's probably the one shining part of their ball club is their bullpen.
2-2. Now you're into the high end, the high end part of their bullpen. Rockies struggle to score runs on the road, but here at home, you know they score an abundance of runs typically. Not so far on this homestand. And Gonzalez, a strikeout victim. Tulowitzki tonight. Couple of singles in 3 trips. $18 runs for the Rockies over the last 8 games, and if they don't rally, it'll be an 8-game losing streak.
Well, don't forget about Coors Field Suites, the party facilities, and picnic areas. They fit any event at any budget. 303-312-2444.
Short right field. Walker. And that'll bring up Brad Hopp with 2 outs in the 8th inning. What do you see, George, offensively?
Struggling. I mean, teams swinging at pitches out of the zone, not getting big hits. I mean, all the obvious that everybody else watching the ball games and in the stand sees. A team that maybe lost a little bit of confidence at the plate that they once had. Individual guys maybe hitting the ball hard at times, but collectively not doing what they need to do. And I think one thing I watched games in Philadelphia while home in Tulsa, and watch it on the networks, and I sit and I watch, and I'm going to pitch a guy a certain way. And if I'm pounded inside 3 straight at bats, unless that closer has a freak pitch, a knuckleball, a split finger, a changeup or something, he's probably going to pitch me the same way. And I think that's making the adjustments through the game, maybe, is a way to put it. I think starting pitching, finishing off innings, finishing off, you're working and reaching goals during ball games. It's come sporadically, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no area right now the Rockies are excelling in. They haven't played particularly great defense. Their starting pitching has been sporadic at best. It's probably being kind. And even, as we all know, Ubaldo Jimenez has hit a bit of a rough spot. He'll go tomorrow.
The longest losing streaks he's endured, 5 prior to this. So
he's hit for Hop. Let's give you the results from our Breaks Plus nightly poll. The question was, which deal did you think had greater significance? Manny a couple of years ago to the Dodgers, Cliff Lee last year to the Phillies. Both players performed very well for each of those 2 clubs. Cliff Lee won for the Phillies, worked out nicely. Lee won he was the only guy who won a ball game in the World Series for the Phils.
Corona and the Dodgers out on top of the Padres 1-0. Richard pitching for the Padres.
Well, when you hit it hard, things aren't going well. It usually finds a glove. Happened earlier for Herrera. It happens right there for Spilgorz. We'll go to the 9th. 6-2 Pirates. Six-2 Pittsburgh, top of the 9th inning. Afterward, the post-game report, and it'll be anchored tonight by Mark Stout. Mark?
Drew and George, we're going back to the 70s tonight. You may remember the sitcom 8 is Enough. Well, guess what? 8 losses is enough for the Rockies. We hope they can rally, but 8 is enough. And do you remember the parody song, Basketball Jones? We got a Baseball Jones here tonight, and Garrett Jones. He's having a heck of a night for the Pirates. We'll also get you into the clubhouse and hear what Jim Tracy has to say about things tonight. Drew, George?
All right. Mark, the second one, it's got to go.
Basketball Jones.
No, Mark, the second one's got to go.
Well, I think if Huey sang it, it might sound better. I've heard him sing.
Eric Kratz at the plate.
Good thought process.
With strike one. Kratz 0 for 3 tonight. That's how bad it's been for the Pirates everywhere, but particularly out on the road. They have 12 wins this year out on the road. The last time they won consecutive games away from PNC Park was May 14th and 15th at Wrigley Field in Chicago. In fact, coming in here, the Pirates had not only lost, George, 7 of their last 8 road series, they had been swept in 7 of their last 8 road series.
They'd lost 24 of 26 ball games on the road.
Inexplicably, you're wondering at home, we're wondering up here, they're wondering in the dugout, where have all the bats gone?
Well, they're just worried, about winning ball games and going out and doing things and putting it all together and trying to win games. Because you can do it, you've done it. And where the Rockies had relied for so long on Jimenez or Hamill or somebody to be that stopper, to throw that 0 up on the board, those guys have struggled a little bit of late, although Hamill has pitched well, talking about Ubaldo.
Well, last night they got a good start from De La Rosa. A bad beginning, but what turned out to be a good start. 7 innings, 3 runs. This is looped to right center field. It'll drop. Base hit for Kratz. Delwyn Young will pinch hit in the pitcher's spot.
Well, if you're looking for a unique place for your special event, check out Coors Field. There's a lot of places there that can accommodate you and your group.
Coming into tonight, a little more on the Rockies' offensive woes. Since the All-Star break, the Rockies have won only 2 ball games. They're 29th in the league in hitting, a .209 batting average. Only the Mets are worse at .202. So that is sure to rise tonight because they've scored 7 runs. Delwyn Young with a 1-0 count. Olivo throws it over the head of Brad Hop.
And I think he got hit with the bat when he went to do it with Young's bat.
Kratz is going to go first to third.
I really do. I think he got hit with the bat.
It kind of floated, didn't it?
No, I'm talking about his arm, his left arm, on a follow-through, and he went to go throw it. I mean, he's dropped the glove, he's holding his left arm, and I think it just, the shock value made it fly up on him. You don't need to see that kind of a grimace, man. Oh, man. See right there? Caught him right in the back of the elbow. As he went to go throw the baseball, Hyundai cam. Let's watch it again. Swing at the pitch, it's going to miss. Into the glove, and then see the bat come around, and then as he pulls it back, that's where he caught it. Caught him right there. He threw everything up in the air. So when you get bam, got him pretty good. Kratz stayed at first base even though the ball shot down. I mean, people moved around.
No, he had gone to third. They called interference. Batter's interference. They brought him back. He was at third base.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Third base. Well, what happened? Iannetta's starting to stretch, get loose down there. He'll try to catch, though. He'll try to finish the ball game.
I've learned a lot of things about Miguel Olivo this year. How hard he plays in every area. And typical of guys who put the equipment on, George, he is a tough sucker.
Says he can go.
The count is 1-1 on Delwyn Young. Pratt's back at first. I thought that John Russell, George, would have Delwyn Young bunt. That's a strike.
4-run ball game. I mean, a grand slam's got to tie it. He's got a pretty good closer down there. I could see where he would not have him bunt. 3-run game maybe, but not a 4-run ball game.
Well, again, it's Coors Field. A lot of managers do things a little differently here because they look at 4-run cushions more like 2-run cushions. Strike 3. Delwyn Young is gone, out number 1 in the 9th inning.
Pretty good breaking ball snapped off here. 74 miles an hour out of the hand of Belisle, and great placement on that outside corner.
Andrew McCutcheon up for the 5th time. Ground ball to short, a base hit and a run scored in the 3rd, a walk in the 4th, and an infield hit in the 7th. He was caught stealing eventually in the 7th inning, trying to swipe 3rd. Jimenez and Paul Maholm tomorrow afternoon. Paul Maholm has been the steadiest pitcher this year for Pittsburgh. 6-8, but he's got a .413 unearned run average. On a team with an ERA well above 5, that kind of stands out.
Yes, it does.
This ball ripped to left field. Pratt is going to stop at third base. McCutcheon has a double. He had a double last night. Only played a couple handful worth of games at Coors Field, actually a little less than that. And it seems like every ball game he produces at least one double or a triple. He's got a few of those from last year.
Good player. Really good player. It's fun to watch swing the bat, play the ball in the outfield. Coverage of what he does.
Yeah, I mean, George,
it's only going to get better.
It's only going to get better. He's a guy with not just great speed. I mean, you've seen guys, you've played with guys that were, speed guys, could defend it, but they were slap and run guys. This guy stands on his back leg and drives the baseball.
He's a good player. I mean, a very good hitter. A chance to up as he gets stronger. He's got 8 home runs right now. If he hits 16, drives in 65 and steals 45. It's a pretty good leadoff man.
Some who believe in the Pirate organization, guys at Scatterman, that as he continues to understand things offensively, he could be a 20-plus guy in terms of home runs. But point well taken that you make, George. He's a heck of a young player. Rockies have to have the infield in, 2 in scoring position, 1 out. One of the nice things about Matt Belisle is he can go get a strikeout. He's just ahead of Tabata, 0-1. Belisle is struck out 63. a little more than 62 innings. Ground ball to third. Stewart comes home, and they have Kratz hung up. And he'll get himself up now as McCutcheon had arrived at third. Good base running by Tabata as he goes from the plate all the way to second base. So he's in scoring position. 2 outs. Neil Walker coming up. And you're thinking, well, pass on Walker. You have Garrett Jones, who's 4 for 4 behind him.
Nice play by Stewart. The infield is in, right into pad up. Slow feet at third base. He caught the baseball. Off balance throw down. Glad that ball was on a strike with an off balance throw. They were running down, getting the tag. Everybody else advanced up. Tabata and McCutcheon both.
Walker's 1 for 4. He struck out each of his last 2 at bats. 6-2 Pittsburgh, 9th inning. The Rockies have Stewart, Olivo in the pitcher spot in the 9th inning. They'll need more than that. Fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. Neil Walker. .310 average beginning play today. Second among National League rookies, behind Buster Posey. He went around 1 and 2. Another impressive thing about Walker, he's hitting .354 with runners in scoring position. You look at some of the numbers of these guys. Tabata is hitting the ball well. McCutcheon, we've talked about. Garrett Jones, 14 home runs, 60 driven in now. Alvarez has hit some home runs since arriving at the big leagues. Lastings, Millage swinging it well. Cedeno in the month of July. And it's no surprise that all of a sudden this team that's been offensively challenged is 3rd in the second half in scoring runs in the National League.
Pretty amazing, but all of a sudden they've started swinging the bat well, and it's kind of been 3 or 4 guys that have done it. They're starting to drive in the runs. And pretty obvious what we watched with Garrett Jones tonight, what he could do.
Two, and Walker can't catch up to 95 on the block. 6-2 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Nice work by Matt Belisle. Rockies got the first run of the ball game back in inning number 1, but it's been all Pittsburgh since then. The only other cheering you heard from the Rockies faithful was a 6th inning home run from Carlos Gonzalez. Short outing for Aaron Cook. Ross Ohlendorf hit in the head, but he is okay. Went to the hospital, back in the dugout with Pittsburgh. And a bunch of relievers have handcuffed the Rockies. Now they're down to their final 3 outs. Octavio Dotel, the closer for the Pirates, is in there. Ian Stewart, Miguel Olivo. And then the Rockies will go to their bench. Obviously, Giambi has yet to be used in the ball game.
Dotel, you see 21 of 26 in save opportunities. He had one big year while with Oakland, and then traded in the middle of that year when he collected 40-something RBI or 40-something saves at the time.
Now it's kind of a tentative swing from Stewart. It's 0-1. Dotel, as he should, with a 4-run lead, going right after Ian Stewart. Rockies got 3 hits in the first inning, and then didn't get another hit until the 6th inning when Gonzalez, leading off against Javi Lopez, hit one off the 3rd deck. And this one is going to drop. No. Andrew McCutchen catches everything. Going back, going to the side, going forward.
If there's any thought process into the fact that does he come in on the ball well, it was just answered. We've seen side to side and back. Now you get to see come in at a hurry's pace and just slide catch, didn't really even have to dive for it. I mean, really, you think in this ball game, I can think of probably 4 balls in the 2 games played against the Pirates so far against anybody else, their base hits and extra base hits.
It's really
at least
amazing.
4. At least 4.
Really amazing how good he has played. And it's not just here. And he was telling me before the ball game he naturally enjoys playing here on defense because of his world-class speed. There's a ton of room out there. You know, be a if he played for the Cubs in 81 games, a year-old stomping grounds, Wrigley Field, be a waste.
Yeah, it would be a waste. You're right. Short ballpark, left center and dead center.
0-2 on Miguel. Giambi is out on deck.
Dotel used to overpower you at 96, 97 miles an hour. Now he's a guy that has increased his command of the fastball and breaking ball, so he really stays corner to corner and down. He may stay on the outside half of the plate and then work away from you as he gets ahead in the count.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Miguel with 1 out, nobody on in the 9th inning. Rockies have lost 7 straight. They've been out hit 11-8 in this ball game. To third, Alvarez caught it in the air. He went through with the play. Third base umpire Jeff Kellogg put up his right hand and indicated it was an out.
I thought maybe this ball did get a little bit of dirt, but obviously here it's because of the skip of the glove. He holds it straight in the air, and he can't see because behind him as the play is being made. On the cam, you clearly see that he caught the baseball.
Giambi last night came up in a 4-2 game with 2 outs and a man on. He was the tying run, and he had a fly ball to deep left field that Tabata made the catch on just in front of the warning track. Unfortunately, Jason does not represent anything close to the tying run right now. And base hit through the left side. Big shift was on. Giambi reaches, and Seth Smith will hit. Smith has 2 hits tonight, 2 of the Rockies' 8. Single in the first, double in the 7th inning for Smith. His double came with 2 outs. Herrera struck out behind him. Got a chance to sneak through in a win. 3-hit night for Smith. Only need 1 more to reach before you can get the tying run to the plate, and that would be Carlos Gonzalez, which down by 4 runs. George, in the 9th inning is about all you can hope for.
Absolutely it is, and give yourself a chance as you work your way through this lineup. This ball that Smith hits just kind of gets through the seeing eye single to the right side of the infield. Giambi took advantage of the shift. Smith took advantage of the hole on the right side. See if Herrera can get Gonzalez to the plate.
Got Alvarez about even with the bag at third if you're thinking of bunt here. Ball, 1 strike. Herrera taken all the way. Gonzalez hoping for an opportunity. He's in the on-deck circle. One and two. Johnny hits a ground ball to first, and the race to the bag is won by Jones, and Dotel arrived at the same time. He's going to get a hand up. The Pirates win the ball game 6-2. They've won consecutive games on the road for the first time since mid-May at Wrigley Field, and the Rockies have an 8-game losing streak for the first time since late May and early June of 2008. Another great crowd goes home disappointed. The Rockies just can't get out of this funk. They have scored 18 runs in the last 8 ball games. 6-2 the final. Gallagher the win. Cook takes his 7th loss against 4 defeats. Stick around. The postgame report is next.